right, we'll go straight to questions here. David, we'll start with you.
Coach, on the penalty, right?
It's not a penalty.
This
is not a penalty. It's not a penalty. So stop calling it a penalty. Don't call it a penalty, because it wasn't. And this is what they explained to us in the preseason. They come here and they sit in front of us and they tell us, if your hand's on the ground, it's not a PK. If it's in a natural position, it's not a PK. If it hits off your leg first and hits the hand, it's not. I don't know how many of those. And this is what, 2 in a few weeks now that we're kind of licking our wounds, and feeling hard done by a call that changes the game, frankly. 2-0, we got to stretch a little bit more, and they've got some transition speed. But overall, the game was well played. I thought we played terrific all night long. They were, better in a few moments that ended up, the first moment in the first half. The big fella pulls a nice play off. But over the course of the game, the amount of chances we created, I thought we had enough chances there to score 3, 4, 5 goals in that game. And it just wasn't a night where we finished out a bunch of plays. And that's disappointing because, again, we created a lot with the way we built through the midfield and into their half. I thought was, a high level, and again we created enough chances, but we just didn't finish off. But it's not a penalty, and that's very disappointing. There's no VAR in Open Cup, right? And we're on the road for the first 2. Open Cup needs to look at himself a little bit, I think.
And then we've talked about the importance of the cup, obviously a trophy at stake. How are you feeling personally? This tournament is done, and now the MLS.
Well, it's done. That's it. It's done. We won't cry too long about this game. We have a quick one in San Jose, and then New York, and then KC. So it's back to the league. So again, as I said, we can lick our wounds tonight and feel sorry for ourselves and bitch about the referees, and then tomorrow we'll forget about it and get moving on San Jose.
Diego?
Ben, even if it was a defeat, it was a well-played effort, and certainly from comparing the Seattle game, there was a lot of effort until the 90th minute to get those goals in. Can you talk to me a little bit about some of the positives that you saw? For me, I saw a lot of great connection in the midfield, and so could you talk to me a little bit about some positives?
Yeah, the whole game was positive. I thought overall from the effort was there, of course. That's never really an issue with this group. But I thought the quality was there all night long. And, again, created a bunch of opportunities. And you got to finish those out if you're going to advance. So there was some good performances. Felipe Andrade continues to move forward. I thought Femi came in and did a good job. You could see when Jack comes into the game, the quality that he brings it. It's nice to have Ponce scoring. Anytime your forwards get on the scoreboard, it's a good thing. Some individual good performances, and some guys that we find out about. And there's a lot of guys out there that haven't had a lot of minutes. So every time they get out there, we find a little bit more about where they're fitting into this puzzle. And overall, there was way more good performances than bad.
And Brooklyn got a second yellow, which was
That's okay.
in the red.
Yeah. It's a poor turnover, and he has to put out a fire, and he fouls him. And I don't have any problem with that call necessarily. Again, the call I have the issue with, I've spoken about.
How could you uplift him to make sure that he doesn't?
Tell me it's a game Saturday, get over it. Yeah, we're out of the tournament, so he has to sit out next year sometime. He doesn't have to worry about it till next year. That's how he gets over it.
Thanks.
Hey Ben, so Yossi's first start with the Dynamo,
Yeah.
and he was getting a great reclamation in the first half and already got a few more opportunities in front of goal. What are your thoughts on him?
Growth, he's played in 3 games now, and there's movement. He's growing in his ideas of what we want from him with the ball, without the ball. in possession, out of possession, and he's starting to find some relationships out there. But it takes time. I've talked about this plenty of times. It's like we're transitioning these guys in real time, in real games, whether it's Pablo or Felipe. Even Linger is continuing to kind of find minutes and rhythm and relationships. And Tayasi's in the same boat in that way.
Thank you.
And you mentioned Pablo Ortiz. He came off at halftime. Is that more of a time management thing, or is that more of a tactical?
Yeah, so, sometimes you can outsmart yourself, but yeah, Artie and Pablo, they got a lot of minutes, and they're going to have a lot of minutes going forward. He's not fit, so he's getting fit in real time rather than a preseason, or he has a month to get fit. He's got to get fit in games, and that's a dangerous thing, and you have to be err on the side of caution. And we think he's gotten to a point now where we can start pushing his minutes. We feel safe enough to do that. But again, the back-to-back with little rest, it's hard to do that. And Artie's, precautionary. It was more planned out than anything.
Yep. And then, Coach, the sprinkles of orange today, what do you want to do?
It's great, man. It's so nice. It was always nice in this stadium because they stand out. They stick out like a sore thumb, and it's nice to see them out there. Yeah, it's probably saw maybe 100, 100 people in the orange out there. It was nice. Wish we could have sent them home happy, but they can rest that the guys gave everything for them, and they played, I think, a really good game. And I think they can see the quality. We just got to clean up some moments, and we'll be okay.
All right, we'll go to Juan. Juan on 2, go ahead.
Hello, Ben. Wanted to ask you a quick question. Obviously, Jack McGlynn came in the second half. Your team seemingly jumped, I think, a level to start that second half before the penalty. Can you tell me why you didn't start with Jack McGlynn in the starting lineup?
I just answered that question, Juan. Like we have a.
I wasn't able to hear you that well through the Zoom, so.
Okay, well, we manage minutes, and you come up with a plan on how to. It's not necessarily the last game in this game. We're going to the West Coast in 2 days, and we're playing San Jose. Then we're going to fly to the East Coast. Then we're going to fly to New York City, and we're going to play New York away. And then we're going to fly back with 2 days rest, and we're going to play Kansas City. So these guys they can't play every game, or else we get them hurt. And there's a lot of thought that goes in to this behind the scenes on how to keep these guys healthy. And I'd love to have Jack from the get-go. I'd love to keep Artie in there for 90 minutes. But you have to make concessions sometimes. And sometimes you don't know if it's the right decision or the wrong decision. But there's enough quality. Again, there was enough quality when he came on to get several goals. I'll stand by kind of the plan. But it's hard to say that because we lost.